Well, good morning, everyone. Thomas Montgomery. It is 8 o'clock Central, Friday, July 22nd, 2022. We get together with our distribution partners most weekdays at this time to talk strategies, tips, techniques, share success stories, but mainly we're here to support each of you. A couple topics we're going to cover today, but I spent 42 minutes on the phone with one of our white label partners this morning. And based on that conversation, I felt that we should reshuffle our priorities and go back and revisit the basics for a moment. So if you are a white label partner on that, what we call the Access to Capital program, you need to be very familiar with the content on this page. So iimfl.org, white label page. Let me give you just a quick overview. And again, if you're not a white label partner, you can get set up here, but that's not the point of our discussion. So we have our training library here. What I'm sometimes seeing is some of our white label partners that they'll sign up, but they don't really get engaged. And the analogy I like to use is, let's just imagine that you decided to buy a Domino's franchise. And that's like signing the paperwork to buy a franchise from Domino's, but never going through the training to understand the processes and all that you need to successfully run a Domino's franchise. That wouldn't be wise, right? So while this library, we talk about leads and we talk about using financial literacy to generate, also to generate leads, more about teaching financial literacy. The 3-step training really goes into understanding how to do the hybrid approach, which is very successful. Teach people about what collateral shortfalls are, because what you and I know is that with collateral shortfalls, there's the 3 C's: credit, collateral, and cash flow. And we need to address those 3 C's. So teach about collateral shortfall. If anyone else can't see the screen, let me know. I see Charlotta says she can't see it. I'm showing that it should be shared. So can the rest of you see the screen? Can you reply back on the Q&A within Zoom? Do you see the screen or not see the screen? Everyone but Charlotta. Charlotta doesn't see it. So Alfred, Ben, Bernard, Brett. Okay, everybody else seems to be good. So I don't know what's going on, Charlotte. Okay, so we talk about a checklist for launching a new business, accounts receivable financing, new process, what we do for clients that don't receive a cash funding offer, how to properly onboard new clients. I mean, this is just the epicenter of understanding how to be successful. Are there quite a few trainings to go through? Yes, but understand, as a white label partner, it is designed for us to work together. So you're helping at least 8 clients a month. And if you're charging the normal price structure, which we'll get more to that in a moment, of $12,500 per client, you're right at $100,000 a month in gross income. And so is that get rich quick? No. Are there other things that you could do probably to make more money than $100,000 a month? Probably so, but it's a good side gig. And it does require some discipline to go through to understand how the model works. And this is what we call the training library down to this point. So it used to be people would have to hop on a plane, fly in, we'd spend it, well, it started out 2 days, then we consolidated down to 1 day, and then the pandemic happened. But now you can go through this very conveniently, in your pajamas from your back bedroom. But if you are a white label partner and you've not gone through these training videos, I think you're shortchanging yourself. I think you're less likely to be successful, and you're less likely to be satisfied. You ultimately, you probably won't be as good of a resource to clients. So the training library is important. You might say, well, I'm not a white label partner. Again, you can become one if you want here. But notice we're hyper transparent. There's no passwords to this page or login. You could not be a white label partner and just be pondering it. And you know what? You could still go through the same training to understand what we do, right? There's no secrets. It's completely transparent. Okay, so the first thing that we wanted to accomplish today is, if you're a white label partner, you need to be familiar with this page. The gentleman, great guy that I talked to this morning, again, for 42 minutes, trying to get him up to speed, he had trouble finding this page. I mean, if you don't have this page bookmarked, we're in trouble, because this is the resource page if you're a white label partner. you've not gone through the training library, you need to. Okay, so there's that. Underneath the training library, back where we were, is the white label client submission form. Well, what's the function of it? This is where you submit clients. Once you have them under contract, and we'll come back to that in a moment. So in other words, they're contracted with you. This is where you submit them for us to implement. And some people aren't getting that correct, but there's no other way. If you've worked with Scott Stroud, our Chief Marketing Officer, no matter what else you've done to set up landing pages, databases, whatever else, all that's fine. But this is the only place in the world, one place where you actually submit the client. Now, you don't want to submit leads here, right? They need to actually be contracted with you. And so now you put in their name, email, of course, your information. The Access to Capital and Capital Ready, those are the two same, both of those are the same program. The difference is Access to Capital, we defer the deposit until after the first tranche of capital is raised. And that's what we prefer to do, but some of you like to collect from the clients up front. If you are collecting from the client up front, then we're splitting that, and that's mentioned here. Put in the date of submission, click submit. Once that submission comes to us, then we will send you an email to confirm that we received that client enrollment. And secondly, we will send them via Adobe a one-page funding app. And with that funding app, then they can, and we copy you on that. It goes out in a white label version, so it's kind of generic. It's not referencing us. So then that one-page funding app goes out. They fill it out. So you see it go out because you're copied. They fill it out. You want to encourage them to fill it out, right? And then once they fill that out, then we can go get them funding offers. And that funding offers gets them money, and then you're able to get paid because you're paid the $2,500 or whatever you're charging. Normally $2,500 deposit is paid after their first tranche of capital. So submitting clients here is important. If you're using the hybrid model, which some of you are, and we've encouraged that, where you're bringing them into the free 4-week funding program, allowing us to do the mentoring so you don't have that burden, and then you're pivoting them over at some point during that 28-day process to go to funding to get their first tranche, that's fine. But this is still where you would submit them. So even though they're already in the other program, they're already in the free 4-week funding program, we're already working on their business plan and all that. When you're ready to move them into the funding phase, which is what gets you paid, this is where you submit them. It's the only place in the world. Okay. Kiana asked, are all of these on YouTube? I don't know exactly what you mean, but what I'm assuming you mean is that you're asking about these training videos, and they're all linked right here. Sorry if I misunderstood. All right, furthermore, underneath that are the white label partner resources. I spent about 10 minutes with the gentleman this morning trying to explain to him where this link is so he could get his own agreement set up, because when you're a white label partner, you're going to have a contract directly between you and your client. We provide you a template. It's right here. And again, there's no passwords. Everything's transparent. It's not like, oh, I don't even know what this is going to look like. No, you click on it and it pulls it up. It's an editable Word document. And then you make whatever changes that you want. And then you execute the agreement with the client, because it's between you and them. You choose the terms and the pricing. And then what do? Then, of course, you submit them here so we can go implement. So I guess it's a bit out of order, but if we wanted to try to put it in order, what should you do? Well, if you want to help people make a lot of money, become a white label partner. Click there to do this. Step 1. Step 2 would be really good if you went through the training, which is here. Step 3 is you're not open for business until you can contract with a client, and that happens by taking this template and editing it. You get a client contractor, you can send it to them via DocuSign or Adobe, have them sign it in person, however you want. But once you have the client signed, then what do? Step 4, submit. So let's go through that real briefly again. Step 1, become a white label partner if you want to help people make money. Step 2, go through the training. Step 3, get your agreement set up. Step 4, submit clients. Now, there's more on this page, teaches you more about the modules 1, 2, 3, and 4. You can get the participant guides, instructor guides, all of that. So, but this page is packed full of information. So who has questions on what we've covered so far? I have more to cover, but I want to pause here for a moment. Who has questions regarding the white label page, where you'll find the training, where you'll submit clients, where you will get the agreement template? Pretty straightforward, right? And when you become a white label partner, first thing we do is send you an email called the White Label Partner Onboarding, and it says, please, for the love of God, go to this page, because this is where you need to go. All right, so Kiana's asking about a landing page, so that's great. So great question, actually. As a white label partner, you don't have to have a landing page. If you want a landing page, what we recommend doing, if you want a free one, is you come over to 4weekfunding.org, and you also get set up as a referral partner. So you fill out this little box, check yes, submit, and then you'll get a free landing page that looks just like this. And this is what we call the hybrid model. You've heard us talk about it. I made reference to the training, which was called 3-step training just a moment ago. So if you want a free landing page, you come over here, fill this out, and then you're both a referral partner and a white label partner. You could then submit people in first through this campaign, and then you pivot them over to the access to capital once they're in it to help them move forward to funding. And if that doesn't make sense, that's okay. I don't want to be too redundant, but if you go back to the 3-step training, that'll give you more details. Now, if you want just a white label partner onboarding page, you can get with Scott, our Chief Marketing Officer, or whomever you want, and then someone's going to charge you, of course, and then they'll create a page that matches you. Because you got to understand, as a white label partner, we can't provide every white label partner with their own landing page. Now, we can provide all referral partners, because all referral partners are going out to the market with the same program, so we know what's on this page. But let's just pretend you're a white label partner. Well, we don't know what you're charging. We don't know what your pitch is. We don't know what your colors are. We don't know. Yeah. So white label partners don't get a free landing page because it's impossible, right? Because there's all these variables, because they're not contracting with us. If you're a white label partner, right? You're taking the template and they're contracting with you. So it becomes what you call a custom landing page or custom website. And so Scott can do that for you for next to nothing, but he does charge, right? He needs to make money for his family too. So if you want a free landing page, super simple. Also become a referral partner here, free and simple. Do it, click yes, submit, and the system will generate a link and a landing page, and you're good to go. You can use the hybrid model, bring them here first, and then secondly, take them to funding. If you want your own landing page and bring them directly into the funding, that's fine. But that is not included for the reason I've described, because we wouldn't know what to put on your landing page. Because as a white label partner, it's your pitch, it's your colors, it's your branding, it's not us. Hopefully that makes sense. Thank you, Kiana, for that question. All right, now the second topic I want to dig in, it's a bit more strategic. So let's go back down to the concept of setting up your agreement. One of the elements of setting up your agreement is, of course, deciding what's your pricing going to be. What are you going to charge clients to go through the process? We obviously want to have written agreements, because the last thing we want to do is go help a client raise $1 million. You don't have an agreement with them, and then you ask them to pay the performance fee and or the deposit, and they're like, screw you, I don't owe you anything, and you don't have an agreement. So technically they don't. We don't want oral agreements, we want written agreements. So within this template, you're able to decide what you want your fees to be. That's my point I'm wanting to get into. So by default, it'll say a 10% performance fee, which is fair. And if that's what you want to stick with, you can. But I think you need to have an economic model before you go to the market. Like if you were to open a pizza restaurant, how much do you want to sell a pizza for? Well, you would probably stop and say, well, first, what's it cost me to make and sell a pizza? Because I need to make sure I make a profit, right? And so part of that is, are you going to pay other people to refer to you? So for example, let's pick Joseph's online. He's one of our top white label partners. He's a realtor out of Northwest Arkansas. Joseph and some of the others of you are really good about getting referrals from bankers, from CPAs, from bookkeepers, and from others. Well, if you're going to try to get referrals from other people, you probably want to economically reward them, because that's going to make it a lot more of interest to create top of mind awareness. So Joseph, forgive me for giving up your secrets. And if I have this wrong, I'm trying to do this the best I can. But I think Joseph pays his referral partners 5 points. So when he goes to local CPAs, local small business attorneys, bankers, well, and some people can't accept referral commissions, but his normal is 5 points. He'll pay them 5 points of the client's capital raise if they refer the client to him, to Joseph. Well, does that mean that Joseph makes less money? Does that mean that Joseph has just reduced his profit margin? Only if he chose to, right? Because Joseph controls his pricing. We told you this is an editable agreement. So part of his pricing would be, what does he project his marketing expenses to be? If he anticipates that 5 points out of every client's capital raise is going to be paid out to referral partners, then he needs to incorporate that in. The analogy I use, I was at the car dealership this week looking at a new vehicle, and they're like, free window tint. And it's hot in summertime. You can see it's already 80 degrees here, so it's going to be 100 degrees by the time the day is over. So window tint's pretty important, especially for a big black SUV in Texas. And so I'm like, I don't think that's free. And of course it's not free. They build it into the price, right? So if you're going to pay the bankers, the attorneys, the CPAs, whomever is referring to you, let's just say like Joseph does, 5 points, that doesn't mean that you make less, but you need to build it into your pricing model. So you want to be strategic in terms of how you set up your pricing. Obviously, we need to have leads, right? And so we've had multiple trainings on leads, and I showed you some of those. They're above here. Here's a training on leads, and I think there was more than one. I think here's another training on leads. So there's all kinds of trainings on leads. But the best lead sources are going to be those referral partners that already have a relationship, like tax preparers, for example, with small businesses, and they refer people to you and you pay them. And if you pay them generously, you'll become really important. Anyone have questions on referral partners, using referral partners to drive more volume into your business? And then, of course, if you're going to have referral partners, you need to pay them. If you're going to pay them, we'd recommend paying them generously. And if you're going to pay them and pay them generously, it needs to be built into your pricing model, right? Just like if you're running a Domino's, right? If you're going to deliver the pizza, you probably charge more for the pepperoni pizza than if someone comes in and picks it up at the drive-thru. You need to have a pricing model. So at the end of the day, the basic contract is at a 10% performance fee. If you're good with that, then just run with it. But certainly it could be more or it could be less. All right, so let's open it up for Q&A, because this is my goal today. I needed to just get back to the basics, because what I was realizing is some of you, okay, Ben is asking for the white label library. It's here, number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, right here it is, Ben. We've been going through it. Here's the training library. You see it, Ben? Everybody see the training library? I'm scrolling through, scrolling through. Are we good, Ben, on that? Okay, great question. Any questions? A good question. So who else has a question that if you're not a white label partner, hey, I'd sign up, earn some extra income, help people. Great deal, great gig. As far as how much money you'll make, it's based upon you, and especially your pricing we just talked about. I know tomorrow I'm getting together with my son's father-in-law, who's a doctor. And so obviously what tends to happen is you end up talking about money when you're gathered around for a gathering, and you could go interview 100 doctors, and you should make more than 95 of those doctors by being a white label partner. I mean, essentially, if you go standard pricing, you're making $12,500 gross income per. We know we're going to help 8 a month. That's $100,000 a month of gross income. That's not get rich quick. That probably won't even change your lifestyle that much, because I know a lot of you, like Joseph, are big hitters. But I mean, a side gig where you're helping people and you have the ability to make an extra $100,000 a month. I mean, is it not worth, of course, signing up, but is it not worth going through the training library? Is it not worth posting a few ads on Craigslist and these other strategies that we've talked about that are here? I mean, what's your alternative? Where else can you legally and effectively go generate 6 figures a month on a part-time basis helping people? And it doesn't cost anything, right? You're not charged to sign up as a white label partner. It's free. We just ask you to plug in, participate, and we'll support you. Okay, who else has questions on the white label partnership? Any questions on the responsibilities, how to sign up, where the training library is, how to submit clients, which is here, after, of course, you have them under contract here. It's like, oh, I need to know more about what we're going to do with these clients. Well, it's all here. Again, it's perfect transparency. Well, here's module 1. Here's module 2. Here's module 3. Here's module 4. Here's what we're going to do after we're done with the modules. You've got the participant guides. You got the instructor guides. You got the PowerPoints. You got the YouTube videos. I don't know what else to do. It's all here. It's all here. But you've got to get engaged. If you've already signed up as a white label partner, it's just instrumental to get plugged in and understand what you're doing. And that's why we have the production expectations of white label partners, is because we know that most people that dabble in things don't become proficient. And so that's why we ask, and that's why you agreed as a white label partner. Yes, let's help at least 8 clients a month. Let's generate at least 100,000 a month for your business. Maybe this isn't what you want to do. Maybe you are a mechanic or a baker, or maybe you love dog sitting, or you're an accountant, a realtor like Joseph. That's fine. We're not saying change your world. Add this as a side income stream, help people earn an adult income on the side. But yeah, obviously you need to follow your passions. All right, so with that, we've covered it. We'll be back on Monday morning. We'll continue with the training. We had a different topic planned for today, but again, after 40 some minutes, I realized we needed to come back to revisit the basics. So let us know what we can do to help you. We got plenty of time left. Even if we just enrolled 1 client a day through the end of July, we would be on track for 8 a month. So we have enough time, but we need to plug in, get engaged, and get clients under contract, get clients submitted here. They'll get funded, you get paid. I mean, it's really simple at the conceptual level. You just need to understand the process. All right, thanks everyone. We'll see you back on Monday morning. Bye-bye.